The sequencer notebook is a little experiment to see whether it's possible to create interesting audio tooling programmatically in a notebook. So it lets you interact with the features graphically by clicking things. You can load samples via file attachments, and you can tweak those parameters, and those actual settings there are fed back into the sequencer. So as I change things, it's reflected everywhere else in the notebook. So we're really exploiting the reactivity of the observable runtime here. Now, the problem I've recently solved is keeping your edit. So now we can export it to a single file, and we can actually turn off the internet, and this works offline now. So the notebook is now running as a single file, completely offline, served from a file domain, and it remembered all the changes I made. But there's a disadvantage of that, is that it loses all the editing experience. So that's why I create a jump gate, which allows you to take an observable notebook, for instance, the sequencer that we just created there, and it will wrap it with additional notebooks and turn it into this multi-notebook thing, right? And what's interesting about this notebook thing, now this is a notebook made up of many notebooks. It requires a bit of configuration to get it working, so I built this. You can also script it via URL. So here I just visited a web link that had it pre-configured to a much better setup where it's still the multi-notebook thing, but it's laid out better so that on the right you can explore the modules, and on the top there are all the audio things. And so we've got the same experience now. You can still export it, and it remembers its settings as before. So this is now what we call a Lopebook, and it sort of recreates the observable experience but in an offline format. And also you can export to GitHub now. So a single file is easily shared up to GitHub, and then in my configuration, I know exactly where that's going to hit on the GitHub pages. So now we are visiting the same thing, but served from the internet. So this is the one you could go from your computer. If single files, just as easy to share and use as a local file. And here's the features that Lopecode added was the ability to retain editability at a programming level. So we can now edit the source code, so we can remember changes of the sequencer program, we can change the program, and this is all distributed as a single file that can work locally without the network, but is easily shared by uploading it to any static hosting. Thank you.